e cogliamo quindi l'occasione per parlare di un evento che ci sarà a Londra il 21 agosto nella zona di Canary Wharf, in una bellissima venue, quella di Emilia's Pasta. E qui con noi c'è Andrew Macleod, the founder and CEO of Emilia's Crafted Pasta. Welcome to London One Radio, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Nice to be here.
Right, we are very happy about it because you know how Italians are so obsessed about pasta.
Yeah.
Can you please explain to us what's going to happen on 21st of August?
Yeah, so on Sunday, 21st of August, we're going to be hosting London's first ever pasta festival. So it's a festival with music, events, food, drink, and it's purely dedicated to pasta.
And everything is dedicated to pasta. And of course, there's going to be like wine, pasta tasting. The good thing, because we are a radio station, there's going to be also live music. For example, Davide Shorty is going to be there. And it's very nice to see this new venue as well, because the Canary Wharf venue is just opened, I don't know, how many weeks ago?
Yeah, so Canary Wharf is our flagship restaurant, and we have a lovely terrace outside it with views of the river. We have some gardens outside it, and we opened around 6 months ago. And what we're doing on Sunday the 21st is the restaurant is obviously not going to be operating. Instead, you're going to have pasta masterclasses. You're going to have pasta wine masterclasses, sustainability masterclasses. We're going to have Davide Shorty headlining the music festival. And so it's just going to be a day of chilling, drinks, exploring pasta, learning more about the shapes, and in general learning more about the magical world that pasta is, basically.
It is. Let me do it as more in a short Italian translation for our listeners.
Sure.
Quindi il 21 agosto siete tutti invitati, tra l'altro è un evento free entry, quindi l'ingresso è anche gratuito. Nella zona di Canary Wharf c'è questo ristorante, Emilia Pasta, forse molti di voi già lo conoscono, e ci sarà questo festival, il Summer Pasta Festival, dove potrete assaggiare dell'ottima pasta fatta in casa, fresca, wine tasting, quindi avrete la possibilità di assaggiare e di degustare gli ottimi vini anche italiani, tutto questo corredato con la musica live. Ci sarà anche Davide Shorty. Forse molti di voi si sono domandati: ma com'è possibile che un ristorante italiano sia guidato da un fondatore che è inglese? Because
I understand a bit.
You can understand,
yes,
because
I can, yes.
actually, Andrew, before opening the business, he was traveling across Italy, and especially in Emilia-Romagna. So I was wondering, what was the best experience that basically made you think about opening an Italian business in London?
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I've had a dream for quite a long time from when I was a kid that I was always disappointed that you have pizza restaurants, you have burger restaurants, you have steak restaurants, but you don't have pasta restaurants. And so as I was growing up and going through university, I had a big love for pasta as a kid throughout university, and I was just very disappointed, especially in London, with the quality of pasta we were getting, and I felt that a lot of the big chains were doing it really badly, not in a way that truly represented Italian food properly. And so I set it myself as a mission to create this new category of restaurants, which is just focusing on pasta. It's not a takeaway, it's not a fast food, it's a proper restaurant, so it's casual dining. And what we want to do is basically make the best fresh pasta at an affordable price point with only 100% natural ingredients, and everything we made is made start to finish inside each restaurant.
Wonderful.
So pasta freshly made, everything freshly made. So when you come in, yeah.
Infatti quello che sta dicendo Andrew, molto curiosa la sua storia. Lui da quando era ragazzo all'università ha sempre avuto questo sogno di rappresentare al meglio l'Italia, perché aveva notato che comunque a Londra c'erano alcuni ristoranti che cercavano di un po' rappresentare l'Italia, ma i piatti non erano autentici. Quindi lui che cosa ha deciso di fare? Ha voluto addirittura, credo, anche studiare come la pasta viene tagliata. So how long have you spent, how much time did you spend in Italy in order to create the perfect pasta recipes for our Londoners?
Yes, it's a good question. I spent quite a bit of time traveling throughout university and then after I finished university. So probably the best part of 2 to 3 years going back and forth, mostly to the Emilia-Romagna region, and working with chefs, understanding their techniques, visiting suppliers, talking to chefs, restaurant managers, anybody who want to talk to me and share more about Italian culture, because I believe to understand Italian food, you first have to understand the culture. So I spent time couch surfing around different cities in Italy, basically. So I'm living with students and with locals and sort of experiencing everything firsthand. Some of them didn't even speak English. So again, had to learn a bit of Italian. So,
So you can
but yeah,
speak
it
a
was
little bit
just,
of Italian, or you can understand it.
I can't speak, but because I'm fluent in French, I can understand.
Right,
Um,
yeah. It's quite similar.
there are similarities, and given we've been now 6 years in Emilia's, I've learned even more Italian, basically.
6 years, wow!
Yeah.
Quindi 6 anni in Emilia-Romagna, pensate. Però poi lui, durante anche gli anni accademici, ha cercato di imparare ancora di più la cultura, quindi non soltanto avere delle esperienze con gli chef, insomma, grandi esperti nel settore della cucina, ma anche capire che cosa avviene all'interno di un nucleo familiare italiano, ed è così che poi è riuscito a portare tutta questa atmosfera all'interno dei suoi ristoranti. Ed infatti there's something that I really loved about Emilia's Crafted Pasta, because in this 3 venue in London, of course the menu is basically almost the same, but the design of the venue is completely different.
Yeah. So for us, for me, that's a very important thing, is that we want to have each venue feeling similar, in terms of we want to have a common DNA. So our commonality is we use a lot of terracotta and we use a lot of tiles and materials from Italy. But what we like to do is each restaurant, we design it based on the area we're in. So they should feel very familiar, and they should feel similar if you go to the different ones. But overall, what we try and do is create something a tiny bit different in each place.
So, for example, if we go to Canary Wharf, the new venue is like a trattoria. But if we go to Aldgate, the design, it's a different, and reminds us another restaurant from Italy. So this is a particular feature that I really like about your restaurant. Also, you know, and you learned during these 6 years that basically, even in Emilia-Romagna, there are so many traditions. I mean, you can have
sorry, just to clarify. So I spent 2 to 3 years
2 to
around
3
Emilia.
years. Sorry,
6
yeah.
years since we launched the first restaurant, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but when you basically went to Italy the first time, you understood that basically we have different type of dishes and traditions. So, what type of cuisine we can taste at Emilia's?
Yeah, so I think the cuisine differs so much based on even sort of cities that are 100 kilometers from each other. So for me, when I was traveling and couch surfing, one thing that I found the most incredible was that I remember there was one particular place I was couch surfing with about I think 8 to 10 students, and it was so funny because we were discussing carbonara, which is obviously one of the most famous dishes in Italy, and between them, they had 3 or 4 different ways of doing it. And we spent the whole evening, they spent arguing, this is how it should be done, and I was just watching, trying to learn from each of them how they make everything very particular. So what we like to do is at Emilia's is I sort of have tried to look at everything from different regions and then take what I think is the best of the food, and also to obviously do it in a way that hopefully the people in Britain will also like it, because there are some dishes, I would say, like an amatriciana, which is a bit more fatty, it's a bit more this, and I think for the London clientele, it's maybe not exactly what they want. So although it's a wonderful dish, you can find it on our specials menu sometimes. I don't think that's mostly what the locals here want, if that makes sense.
But what's your favorite dish? It's difficult.
Asking me a favorite dish is like saying, here are your children, who's your favorite?
I don't know. Right now, probably, if you fancy something right now,
I would probably have to say our pesto is probably one of the most unique ones. For the pesto, I worked with a chef from Genoa in Liguria, and he had his recipe from his grandmother, and we spent a lot of time in the city. Basically, I spent a lot of time trying all the different places that he would recommend. and then we studied his grandma's recipe, and then we did a few tweaks to get it to what we thought was very representative. And the one thing that Ligurian pesto should be is creamy. But unfortunately, I think in a lot of countries in the UK, especially, a lot of pestos you get are very oily.
That's true.
And that's again one of these subtle differences which I learned, and I wanted to bring and have in Emilia's, is that we need to have the dishes how they should be done traditionally in the area, not an interpretation of it, if that makes sense.
That's the thing that all Italians say when they go abroad, and it's the funny thing that I discovered. So many Italians, when they go abroad, they love to go to Italian restaurants. They always want to have like an Italian dish. So we are very attached to our culture, especially when we talk about food. Quindi quello che dice Andrew molto interessante, perché è importante portare all'estero non un'interpretazione dei piatti italiani, ma quelli autentici, ed ecco perché lui ha trascorso così tanti anni, 2 o 3 anni in Italia, per capire qual è il piatto migliore da offrire poi al pubblico estero, ma anche italiano che vive qui in Gran Bretagna. Quindi quello che voi scoprirete il 21 agosto sarà un evento incredibile dove veramente vi potete sentire a casa, perché la vera cucina italiana è ben rappresentata da Emilia's Pasta, e poi ci saranno anche artisti italiani che ci intratterranno in questa domenica di agosto. And fortunately there's going to be even a hot weather, finally a sunny day in London.
We're praying it's not going to be any rain on that day. I mean, if there is rain, it's all fine anyway, but we're praying because obviously we've got such a lovely outdoor space and a lot of greenery, the gardens. We just want to have it so that it's like a summer festival, similar to the way in Italy you have the Sagre festivals. We're trying to recreate that as a pasta.
The kind of atmosphere. That's true. Andrew, before ending our live conversation, I would like to ask you, are you thinking about opening other Emilia pasta restaurants, maybe not in London, but even in other cities of the UK?
Yeah, I mean, we've been offered a lot of opportunities in London and in other cities such as Manchester and Bristol. At the minute, we're very happy with what we have, and we will open more, but we'll be going step by step. So we're not going to rush to open lots. For me, the most important thing is to keep the quality, and then to also ensure that the brand is built in a good way. And so we will be opening more, but first we need to focus on the existing ones. Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew, we'll see you very soon. 21st of August. I hope to meet you as well in person, and everyone is invited, free entry. There's gonna be, I mean, there are some master classes. I know they are all sold out, but please just go and walk in, because you're gonna have also the opportunity to join their master class. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, so what I'll say is, you might see some stuff is sold out, but we have for each of the classes, we're giving some spaces just for walk-ins. So if you come at midday, put your name down, you'll be able to get a space, basically. And we also have, like I said, all the music, all the picnic areas, the food and drink. We've got some great brand partners for the event, which is some of our suppliers, some very well-known Italian brands who are sponsoring and supporting us. So there's going to be lots to enjoy there, as well as the pasta. So I hope to see you guys all there.
Thank you very much, Andrew.
Yep, thank you very much.
See you soon. Ecco, questo è un evento da non perdere. Se siete quindi a Londra il 21 agosto, vi aspettiamo tutti da Emilia Crafted Pasta. Poi metteremo anche l'indirizzo sulla nostra pagina di Facebook. Comunque, se andate sul sito di Eventbrite, digitate Summer Pasta Festival 2022, avete tutti i dettagli in merito all'evento e anche l'indirizzo che abbiamo messo anche sul nostro TikTok. Insomma, certo, è un ristorante fondato da un inglese, ma un inglese che in realtà ha deciso di darci dentro, quindi qui c'è veramente passione italiana. È bello sapere che ci sono veramente delle persone che apprezzano quello che noi abbiamo, ma soprattutto che hanno trascorso parte della loro vita in un'altra nazione, la nostra, quella italiana, dove hanno voluto veramente capire non soltanto come vengono fatti i piatti, ma anche le storie che ci sono dietro ai piatti, per poi trasferirle a tutti gli inglesi in questo caso. Poi ci saranno magari occasioni di vedere Emilia Crafted Pasta in altre città d'Inghilterra, perché no? Però per ora loro vogliono focalizzarsi su una cosa, e quella caratteristica fondamentale che poi rende unico un business, ovvero la qualità. 21 agosto, free entry, Canary Wharf, Emilia Crafted Pasta con il Summer Pasta Festival. Vi aspettiamo tutti, grazie!
MSC Cruises.